Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Because now I know when something happens in our lives that is unexpected, you go. You have to go into it in order to ever have any hope of coming through it. So when you go, guess what? When you come out the other side, you grow.
Brought out more in me than I thought that I didn't even know that I had.
That has given all of us a great hope for what we can do with our own messages, our abilities to deliver, but most importantly, to deliver it in an authentic and very, very intriguing way.
Have you ever been in something or felt something where the only way you felt you could deal with it was to leave, get away? I thought that was the meaning of control. It took me 4.5 years to stop looking around the room of my life, of my journey, of my purpose, digging in cushions for a remote that never existed. Looking, re-looking, going back and upgrading, bringing in and pulling out things that do not serve you must go. Those things out in this world that are designed to bring us down, to keep us down, put their foot on our neck and whisper to us that we're never good enough, they don't whisper. They yell at us from all directions, top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner, 365 days. When somebody asks you about yourself, don't you dare whisper. When they ask you to raise your hand, don't you dare half raise it. When they ask you something good about you, you scream it with all you have. Come on now, get up, get up. Tell me who you are. Show me who you are. Greatest truth of all, that not everyone has to remain lost. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. T to the G to the I to the F. For real, y'all. Oh my goodness. Who thought this week would never end? Me. I'm just telling you. You know, some weeks it's like Matrix, right? But listen, every day above ground is a good day. I am so excited to be here with all of you, and I say it every morning, and I'm gonna stick to it. Why? Because together, not alone, not separate, not over there and then over there, together, just like a seatbelt, click together, we fulfill one of my favorite promises, that one that guarantees us that when we come together with a spirit of togetherness, agreement, a mindset, oh, it's just so great. Spiritual magic, y'all. The promise we're two or more, right? So here we are. There's the bell of purpose. It's here all the time on purpose, and I ring it with purpose. Now, it's not some clever gimmick, not a show prop, not at all. It is a reminder, y'all, an opportunity, if you will. Why? Because you know how we are, doing a million things all the time at the same time. But when it comes to the truth, just like that bell, it's got a ring to it. And I don't want you to miss any. So I know you might be flat ironing your hair, trying to get them lashes on, whatever it is. If you're like me, shining your bald head, whatever you're doing, when you hear that, stop what you're doing and peek in, lean in, because I back that car up, because I want you to take all of this spiritual goodness with you. Can I get an amen up in here? All right, then. Well, let's do it. Listen, y'all, welcome to the show, which she's here every day. Been here for 6 years. This is my sidekick. She's my version of Ed McMahon. This is Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. And today, we're sipping on a new coffee. It's called Cinnamon Bun. Don't even taste close to a cinnamon bun, but it smells like one and no calories. Gotta love that. So anyway, here we are. What do I have to talk about? Oh, really quickly before we have a great guest today. Awesome guest, Dr. Saprina, with a P, Allison is here, and I'm excited to get her in here, tell you about her. But first, I want to remind you guys, tomorrow, the 17th, at 1 p.m. Central, guess what's happening? We are back after taking off from Memorial Day to a couple weeks after Labor Day. We're live every other week. There it is. Slam the Hammer Mastermind. It's my free mastermind. It's in its third season. And we're kicking it off with the incredible Gabriel Klingman. Now, if you're trying to get to that place where you can make that money that you think, only people, well, let's say Oprah kind of money. For real. Okay. Wait, that might, well, yeah. Abundance. That's what we're talking about. And we're going to hit it hard tomorrow to kick off our season with Gabriel Klingman. This guy is not even 30 years old, and he has 2 7-figure exits under his belt already, working on the third one. So you want to be there. If you have an hour and a half, great. We want to see you. If you don't, find an hour and a half. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. But if you do, we're there every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central. Let me know, and I'll make sure I get the link to you. That's tomorrow, Slam the Hammer Mastermind. So let me get straight to it. Dr. Saprina Allison, she is a career nurse, okay? And then after more than 20 years of being a nurse, she became the patient. Now, I tried to have Google tell me how to pronounce this. It wouldn't do it because it don't even know either. Siri couldn't do it. Alexa couldn't do it. I have to whisper her name because you say her name, she start talking and won't shut up. For real. Do you have Alexa? If you do, put it in the comments. Has she started talking to you when you haven't even said a word to her? Ours do it. And if they keep doing it, they're going to end up in a garage sale. I'm serious. Walking through the house, and all of a sudden, she goes, I want to hear a joke? No. So anyway, back to Dr. Allison. She was diagnosed with, oh, Lord, I'm going to spell it, Chiari. Now, you'd think that would be easy. Nope. Malformation. That one I can handle. It's an incurable but treatable brain disorder. Right? Saprina became her best advocate, being told what she could not do ignited a fire on the inside of her to intentionally live life and not a label. Her diagnosis was the catalyst that propelled her to use her talents that she infrequently displayed. Now, those talents are best heard in her voice and revealed by her pen, even with a stutter. What stutter? Girl, for real? I never knew. Saprina is a radio personality, author, and spoken word artist, living her mantra, run hard, dream big, and create a legacy, are words that she embodies daily as an example of how to get to your abundant life. If we can't get an amen on that one, look how many times I had to ring the bell. That's right, because you know what? Now, how many of you were sitting around at some point in the last few days, oh, man, I wish I'd grow my hair longer. Man, I'm so sick of this hay fever. Man, try living with an incurable but treatable disease. I'm just saying. Listen, y'all, this is Dr. Saprina Allison's first time here, so you know what we do. Our best behavior. We're going to roll out the virtual red carpet. We are going to give a standing ovation virtually by putting hearts on the screen. But more importantly, we're going to throw our hearts into this illuminated conversation with the incredible Dr. Saprina with a P. Allison. Here she comes.
Wow. I have never heard someone introduce me and make me want to cry. I listen to my own introduction a lot, but hearing it today, I mean, I have tears in my eyes. I'm like, wow, I am really that person.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, good morning, everybody. Listen, we are here to have a good time. Yes. I'm Dr. Saprina T. Allison. And the name of the disorder that I have is called Chiari Malformation. And September is Chiari Awareness Month.
September
is.
Oh, and we're
yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I know this sounds a little weird, but say the name of it.
Chiari.
If I'd have had some kids, I might have chose that name. I'm serious. That's cute. I'm just saying, if you're going to have a disease, hey, that's a cute name for one. I'm going to dip out for a couple minutes, not even that, whatever it takes. Take a couple minutes. I want you to have some alone time, if you will, some intimate time with all the viewers. So I'm going to dip out. Anything you want to talk about to help people understand who you are. Right now, Reader's Digest version. I'm going to come back in, but I want you to have a moment. I'll be right back.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Saprina Allison. I am originally from Baltimore, Maryland, by way of Virginia. I am an author, mother, grandmother, spoken word artist, radio personality, and best friend, best girlfriend, all of that stuff in between. So about 4 years ago, I believe it's been 4 years now, I was diagnosed with something called Chiari Malformation. Lived with it all of my life, never knew that I had it. Being a nurse after 20 years, had to go back and look to see exactly what I was dealing with. And because I didn't know, the people around me didn't know. So I thought the best thing to do would be to educate myself so that I can educate those around me. And as Dr. Harris said, I have a stutter. Yes, I do, Dr. Harris. I sure do. One of the things about Chiari Malformation, it can affect any and every part of your body. And at times, yes, I speak with a stutter. But I'm here today to tell you that although I speak with a stutter, I still speak. At one point in time, I didn't want to. I really didn't. But I knew that some other person's destiny was tied to me. So it wasn't about what I wanted to do. It was about what I had to do.
Oh, I got chills. When you said someone else's destiny was tied to me.
Yes.
Boy, that was a mouthful. So just so people can have a clearer understanding, I found something I want to share, just a little short thing about Chiari with her little cute self. I'm pretending I have a daughter. I am bringing home a new baby today.
Are you?
Not a real one, a car.
Okay. Oh, so wait a minute. Before we get to that, listen, this is called Bathrobe Conversations. bathrobe
Whatever.
moments.
Bathrobe moments.
And I thought it would be cute to have a bathrobe, but I couldn't find one. So I took this little doodad of a jacket that I had in my closet.
Turned it into one.
But listen, y'all, she a grandmother. She gets hot, okay? So what we're not going to do is keep this bathrobe on because
That's
it's a whole summer over here. But listen, and purple is Chiari's color. So
Okay.
I do have on my purple blouse by Christy Corley in Beyond Think Boutique. Okay.
Beyonce.
Beyond.
She got a boutique.
The name of the boutique is called Beyond Think Boutique.
Oh.
And the owner is Christy Corley. And she gifted me with this blouse. Isn't she cute, y'all?
She is.
Yeah.
She is. And what was I gonna say? Something. I don't know. I'm so excited about today. I'm just saying. Listen, I usually have a bathrobe, but I only wear it after the time changes, like after Halloween, because it'd be hot, you know. Right. So yeah, so I have them, and I get a new one every season. That's what everybody gives me. Mm-hmm. So I already know when I look under the tree, 4 of them things are bathrobes. Okay. You think they would talk to each other? Who's getting the robe this year? Nope. So anyway, here we are.
I'll save them the time. I'll get it before time. How about that? I'll send it to you before then.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't have a purple one.
Baby, that's a small thing to a giant, okay?
Okay. Chiari Malformation.
Malformation.
I know, I'm backing it up. Hold on. Breathe, Lauren. That's that ADHD. Chiari Malformation, type 1 diagnosis and treatment. That's what we're going to see right here. Take a look.
Chiari Malformation is fundamentally a miscoordination between the structures of the skull base and the bottom of the skull, back of the head, and the contained parenchymal elements, the brainstem and the cerebellum. The majority of Chiari type 1 malformation is incidental and asymptomatic, in which case it's managed expectantly. In a minority of them, when symptomatic, it can cause headache with exertion is a common denominator symptom. People are counseled as to what the symptoms may be, and so long as they don't have them, they live their lives. When the headache becomes sufficient to degrade one's quality of life, then one needs to distinguish it from other types of headache and a referral to a neurologist for further investigation, and medical trials of anti-migraine medications can be appropriate. In those in whom do not respond to medical therapy and the daily impact of the headache with exertion is enough to impair their ability to live their lives so that they can't do their life's activities, then those may be candidates for surgical consideration. This amounts to a decompressive craniectomy, the base of the skull, to decompress the cerebellum. That has a good track record of relieving the headache with exertion. The last step in that procedure is the incision of the dura, which exposes the cerebellum. We have applied to the hospital, and the Human Ethics Committee for Research has cleared us to do a study of the electrical properties of the cerebellum when exposed. And we hope that this then helps us advance our understanding of the cerebellum, what it does, and helps give us insight into what is the complex range and richness and variety of symptoms that cerebellar patients with Chiari malformation may have. Chiari malformation involves neurology, involves psychiatry, involves neurophysiology, involves surgery, involves the operating room. It involves many, many different areas. And all of these can be brought together to give the best possible care for Chiari patients.
Yes.
So this sounds like something that is fairly new.
Oh, it's not. It just does not get the attention that it should get.
Hence September being the month.
It does not get the attention that it gets. And more, the statistics say 1 in 1,000 are diagnosed with it, but it could be more because it's so many times when people go to their doctors, before they're diagnosed, they're told it's all in their head. So you go through a battery of things, and because it mimics or can look like so many different things because of the way that it affects the body, a lot of people are misdiagnosed before they are properly diagnosed. So then we've wasted 3, 5, 7, 10 years of someone's life with not intentional wrong treatment, but because of the vastness of it, you go through this period of treatment after treatment after treatment, and all of them are wrong.
Yeah, I refer to that because I'm still dealing with something that's like that. Not, I mean, where they just like send you here, there, here, there. It's like butterfly flight treatment. You know how butterflies you can't catch, they just going everywhere. It's kind of like that. But I got a two-part question for you. I got a two-part question so we can get into it. First of all, what led you to say something's going on? Was it the headache part? What was going on when you go, something don't feel right? We know it's something that, and it's different than, oh, that's just a so-and-so. Because so many of us try to self-diagnose, especially in our culture. People of color, we do. Oh, that ain't nothing but some little sugar. You know, that's my rheumatism, whatever. But what was it that made you, well, you're a nurse, so you're proactive, I'm sure. What symptoms were you experiencing on the front end? And then take us straight into, you went there, they did some tests, and they came in, shut the door, you know, and they usually got a whole bunch of stuff in their hands and got that look on their face. Because I'll be like, what went through your mind? Tell us how that was the day you heard what this really was, and then take us into that ride home, you know, where you're in the car, Sirius XM turning you off. I ain't trying to talk to nobody on the phone. Get Jesus on the line, all of that.
You know what? I have been living with it for so long. And a lot of women in my family have migraine headaches. So all of the symptoms that I had were symptoms that you could explain. And once I did something about them, they would go away. So I don't have them on today, but I've been wearing glasses since I was 7. So of course, your vision changes a lot. And every time I would go to the eye doctor, my mother would say, now listen, I don't know why your vision is changing, but she said, you cannot be wearing your glasses. And I said, I'm wearing my glasses. So as a child, I had all of the classic symptoms. I see someone had Chiari Malformation surgery in 2012. Hi, Miss Sherry. Oh, wow. Good deal.
I know Sherry's a cancer survivor, but is this a form of cancer?
No, it's not. And I'm going to explain that as well, so that people can understand it in plain English. But getting back to what I was saying, good morning, Dr. Cooley. So as a child growing up, all of the symptoms that I had were just symptoms that you could do something for and they would go away. So the headaches, of course, we would do anti-inflammatories, all of that good stuff. When they started coming back around age 12 with a vengeance, it was explained because, okay, she has a period now. It was always a reason to explain. An explanation for the joint pain that I had. Okay, she's going through a growth spurt. So we could always explain it. So fast forward, as the headaches started getting worse, again, you could explain it. I was pregnant. I was getting older, hormones. I was on my way to work one day, and it was what is it? Not Veterans Day. What is the holiday in November? Is it Veterans Day? Yes, it was Veterans Day. And I was on my way to work. I could not see. When I woke up that morning, I could only see half of my bedroom. So
So it wasn't like doing this because I can still see everything. You're saying both eyes open,
right?
And you see darkness on one side and the rest of the bedroom on the other,
right?
I didn't even know that was possible. Go ahead.
Anything is possible.
Lord.
So at the time I was working in my office, and which is 30 minutes from home, but I did not want to, and I had, you know what, I had an excruciating headache. Is
that worse than a migraine?
Oh, migraine. A Chiari headache, a migraine does not compare.
That's what
a migraine does not compare. Right.
Really?
Kept me in bed with no relief. And a lot of people develop vertigo as well.
Oh,
with their migraines.
I went to the emergency room because of vertigo once. Thought I was dying. Vertigo ain't no joke. If you've ever experienced it, put it in the comments.
So I would have the headaches with vertigo. I woke up that morning. I could only see half of my bedroom. And it just so happens to be, I think it was Veterans Day in November. So I got up and I said to my boyfriend at the time, I said, can you take me to work? Oddly enough, strange enough, he said, okay. So wait a minute. He said, okay. So he drove me to work. I had never been late for work before. Never, ever been late for work. And he said to me, why don't you call someone to and let them know that you're going to be late? Mind you, I had never, ever, ever even, I don't even remember. He said he had to brush my hair that morning because he said I just was up, fussy, disheveled, just a mess. He said he had to brush my hair.
Hot mess.
Okay, a hotmess.com. So as we're driving, he said, I looked at him and I said, how do you use the phone? I didn't know it was already starting, whatever was going on. So lo and behold, I called my manager at the time to tell her that I was going to be late. Another coworker had asked, has anybody seen Saprina? She's never late for work. I get to work. I have my shades on because I could not see. I get to work and I walk in, and one of my pet peeves is when you walk into a room, I don't care who's in there. It could be a group of hippopotamus. Speak. I'll never forget it. Two of my friends at work, Rashida Brown and Deidre Crawley, said I walked past both of them.
I was there.
Said nothing.
Just walk right past them.
Walk right past them. Said nothing.
And they're going.
And Rashida said she thought to herself, I know as much as she fussed about people not speaking, she said when she hung up that phone, she was coming to my desk. In an instant, I got to my desk. I called over another coworker. I don't even remember what I called her to my desk for. And I looked up at her. She said my speech began to slur, and then I had a seizure. Now, can you believe in a room of nurses, we are taught to be timely because of everything that was going on? Nobody looked at their watch to see how long I was having the seizure because they said everybody just got into motion and started doing whatever it was. Another friend of mine, Nari, what I remember was hearing, what brought me out of it was I remember hearing Nari's voice. And Nari was saying to me, open your phone. I need to find Ronald. I need to find one of the boys. Open your phone. And she was yelling it. And somebody was saying to her, you cannot talk to her like that. Well, Nari's originally from New York. That didn't go well. And what I could hear, I said, listen, I better hurry up and respond because she's getting ready to tear the whole roof off of this place. I was maybe about 7 minutes by ambulance from the hospital. Now, mind you, I live 30 minutes away from my job, right? But I was 7 minutes from the hospital. They put me in the ambulance, but Ronald had already gotten home almost, maybe around the corner from the house.
Ronald, that's the boyfriend you fired?
No, I didn't fire. Who? Fire who? Where you going?
Oh, that's the same boyfriend you got now?
Yeah.
Well, you said at the time.
Oh, well, I didn't mean at the time like that.
Ooh, that was a Freudian.
No, ma'am. I mean, no, ma'am, no, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Spirit. Thank you, girl. Go ahead.
Okay.
So Ronald's still there. Okay.
Yes. Let me clean that up.
Yep.
So when they put me in the ambulance, they called him. He was around the corner from the house. By the time I got to the hospital, I have never figured this out. By the time I got to the hospital, I'm 7 minutes away. My house is 30 minutes away. When the ambulance opened that back door,
Ronald was standing there.
He was standing right there.
No wonder he's still around. Okay, Ronald. Here.
Right there.
Okay, wait. First of all, back to Rashida Brown. Rashida Brown used to live on Elm Street, got a sister named Peaches.
No.
I do that all the time. You'd be shocked though. Sometimes I'll do that. People go, I think, and I'll be like, stop. I just made that up. So let's talk. Okay. Good Lord. So did you think you were having a stroke?
You know what? I did not know what was going on. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you. Well, that was on Friday. Everybody said they knew something was wrong with me because at that time I used to get my hair done every Thursday. So when I came in on Friday and my hair was not done, everybody said that's how they knew something was wrong with this lady because she never misses a hair appointment.
Right.
So I didn't know what was going on. But this is what I do remember. Out of all of that, I remember these two things. I said, I walked in here. I want to walk out. Everybody told me no. They said, no, you cannot. You have to get on the stretcher. I said, well, I tell you what, if I'm going to get on that stretcher, and there was a ton of people out in the hallway by that time, I said, pass me my sunshades and pass me my lipstick. Because if I'm going to go out of here, I'm going to go right out of here fabulous. And I was waving.
Y'all, that's diva speak.
See y'all later.
You must have the Mariah Carey book of diva speak.
So,
the queen. Right. Go ahead.
When I got in the ambulance, I remember praying. I said, Lord, you said in a time of trouble that you would hide me in your secret tabernacle.
Ooh.
Father, I am in trouble. I need you to hide me because I knew that something was going on. I did not know what. I knew that I had children at home that still needed to be raised. The one thing that flashed in front of my face was my goddaughter Denia's face. She just turned 16. And at that time, I could just see her sweet little fat face. And I said, absolutely not. I don't know what this is, but it can't stay. And I fought because it was hard. It was a lot of days. It was hard. I started losing my speech. I started losing balance. It was not an easy road. I didn't look like myself anymore to me. It was not easy.
And Dr. Saprina, how much time has passed since then?
I was diagnosed. Now, mind you, I was born with this, right? So it was a lot of things that I did that I should not have done. Someone with a herniation as large as mine should not give birth, should not bear down when they have
pressure
during childbirth, right? Because of the pressure. Well, guess what I did? My first son, I did. I gave birth. My second son, I had my cesarean section. Because of those things happening, the way that your brain is, we should not run. We shouldn't do high impact exercise.
Yeah.
I loved running because my mother was a runner. I loved it. I was in the reserves for 10 years. So what is one of the things that I love to run? But what happens? Your brain does this, right?
Right.
Well, your brain does this, when you're running.
I didn't know that.
Right.
Glad I can't run. I don't
So
need traumatized.
just to show you, your brain sits in your skull, right? Your brain sits in your skull, but you have two holes, one on one side and one on the other, right? And your brain comes, instead of it sitting in properly, your brain will protrude through those holes. And it shouldn't.
Okay, I just gotta say this. How many of y'all get what just happened? I'm looking for it. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. Here it is. Y'all know she was showing them nails off, right?
Oh no.
She go, ooh.
No, but you know what? Actually, okay, so shameless plug. Okay, there you go.
Gorgeous.
There you go.
They really
and
are.
My nail tech is Shanta Gardner.
Listen, when we come back from a brief break, we're gonna go just a little bit around the corner from what we've been talking about into how this, all of it, I don't even know what to call it, poured into Dr. Saprina to enable her to walk into her divine purpose and sit before us as the person she is today. You're going to find out about that and a lot more when we return. It's a great time to share out the broadcast. Don't you dare go away. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
Welcome back to today's installment, TGIF, of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris, and Dr. Saprina Allison. Boy, what an illuminated conversation. Before I bring her back, I wanted to talk about a small change that created a huge shift in my life. It was this, when I decided to get rid of Ditch by Felicia to the left, Diet Coke. I traded it out, and I traded up to V8. Why? First of all, only 60 calories in one of these puppies, all natural, 100% vegetable juice, and it used to be 2 servings of vegetables every can. I don't know how they did it because the can didn't get bigger, but somehow they squeezed 2.5 servings of vegetables in every one of these puppies. So do yourself a favor, pop the top. Don't say, oops, I could have had a V8. Go ahead and try it. Comes in a variety of flavors, and if you like spicy, they got that one too. Easy peasy to find. Just head down the juice aisle at your local grocer. Try it. You just might like it. Here she comes. She's back. Hi, Dr. Saprina.
Hey, everybody.
Yes. So this is so good. I wish I would have had time to run upstairs and pop some Orville Rettenbacher, but I'll just eat this banana while I want you to talk about, let's talk about that divine intersection, because you manifested it. You reached out and you reached for a promise. When you said what you said about, you and what is greater than you.
Right.
Talk to us, if you would, about how you got to the place to get out of your own way, to understand that nothing is about just one thing, and to pick up your blessing that came through this apparent trauma. Because, trauma never comes alone. There's always a future blessing that is born into the process of becoming at the exact same time. Talk about that if you could.
Well, it wasn't easy. And honestly, I'm going to be honest. I didn't go willingly at first. I did not. I was pushed out of the airplane with no parachute. The first thing I wanted to say is this. Make sure that your tribe that you have around you, that surrounds you, is the tribe that is intended for you.
Wait, I was just listening on a coaching session with one of my clients yesterday, and I brought in TD Jakes, and that's exactly what he was talking about. Confidants. Have as many as you can around you, because they're going to be there when nothing and no one else seems to be. So just want to say shout out to TD. Go ahead.
So no, sir, make sure that your tribe is a tribe that can support you and will definitely be there for you, because and know you absolutely positively. I have an amazing tribe. I had a amazing tribe at that time, and not saying it in a way that anyone is gone, because they're not, but everybody knew their role and everybody did what they were supposed to do in time during that time. One of my friends named Camilla Carter, she called me and said, listen, get your whole life together, okay? And of course, my best friend in the whole wide world, my cousin Nikki, and my girlfriend Stephanie, they were always my pillars, as well as my sister-in-law Pat. So it was, I had a tribe. My aunts showed up. My entire family just showed up and showed out. My kids, my goddaughter, her family, Reverend Rosalind Harrison. Make sure your tribe is solid, number one. Number two, I knew what I had in me and what had been put in me as a child. Just because you see me do something different, contrary to what was taught, that does not mean that I did not know who to call on, because I knew whose I was. And of course, Ronald never left, stable, foundation solid. So when I pulled on those things, and those people did for me what I could not do for myself at the time, and God was to me and for me what no one else could be, it just went along on its own. My friend Darla told me, she said, Saprina, you need to speak and tell people your story. And I said, well, wait a minute, where are all of the positive groups for Chiari Malformation? She said, there is none. I said, what do you mean there is no groups that are positive? Because every group that I went in, it seemed that everyone just hugged this thing, and people were existing, but they weren't living. And a lot of times they were watering the incidents that was happening, and they had no hope. I didn't see it. A lot of times I didn't see people with hope. So I started talking about it and talking about it even more. And what I did know was, because I had vertigo, my neurologist said, Saprina, you're going to have to stop wearing heels. I said, who? I'm 5'2".
And when they told me that, I'm just playing. Anyway,
I said, I'm 5'2". I come with heels. I said, because this is what I know. Whether I'm standing still or walking forward, I'm going to make a footprint. That's what I do know.
If I could speak in tongues, I'd say Hasa Babaka, but I can't. And I'm just saying, because you know what? It's what we claim.
Right.
It's what we claim. Y'all, listen. No matter where you find yourself, and no matter what it looks like from the outside, how you approach it from the inside determines the trajectory of what comes next. It is never, ever, never, ever, never about just one thing. Right. Never forget that. So, Dr. Saprina, how did you get started to change what was going on in these rooms and this room as your vessel? How'd you change?
Like I said, pulling on what I knew already. As a child, church and not only church, a solid foundation with God, what is and was what was placed. Both of my great grandmothers, my grandmother's mother and my grandfather's mother, both of their names were Ruth. Okay.
Okay, we know that story.
Right. Ruth Brooks and Ruth Young. And my great grandmother, Ruth Brooks, her great grandfather was the Reverend Zach Horton, and he is the founding pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I say that, all of that to say, it has always been deeply rooted. So we knew what to do as children, and I knew in order for me to get from where I was to where I needed to be, it was only one way to go, and that was to God and do it with him.
Let me ask you this, because we all know Cher McQueen, any of us out here that have dealt with something that, it's almost like when you're on the freeway and there's an accident and it's backed up for miles. You get up there, it ain't no accident. It's just a flat tire. But everybody had to slow down and look.
Right.
Oh no, anybody dead? What I'm asking is, how did you deal with, you're trying to, like, I'm gonna work this. God doesn't make mistakes. He's only keeping it interesting. How did you, when people are like, oh, poor Saprina. Oh,
I'm not a science project.
okay, talk about that.
You,
What do you suggest people do if and when they find themselves in that place where people are like, girl.
You know what you do? Ask the other person, are you okay?
Right.
You know, when they say, oh, say, are you okay? Because
Right.
I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm okay. Ask them if they're okay.
Go, girl, I talked to Saprina this morning. She in denial, girl. Poor thing. So how do you send that out? Send it. I know you start like that. What about the conversation about educating people about, look, I need you to, if you're going to sit in the front row seats in my life, I don't need doom and gloom. I need you to be a believer. How do you use that to show people, to take them over to that light switch, which connects us with the divine? Have you been able, and
remember I said your tribe is important. So I didn't have to prompt them and tell them, this is what I need from you. This is what they were already there. They already knew what to do. They already knew. They were waiting on me because what they refused to allow me to fail. So the party was for me. I had to get to the party because they were already at the party waiting for me. So I didn't have to, the people that are in the front row of your life, you don't have to prompt them because they already know. They were part of the planning committee. So they already know what the party is supposed to be like. So they already knew prior diagnosis, what my life was like.
Yeah.
They already knew the faith base that I had. So it wasn't anything new. It was, come on, okay, we're going to give you 5 minutes and come on, let's go. And it wasn't in an insensitive way. Right. It was, let's deal with this and give it the attention that it needs when it's time. But after that, we have life to live. And that's where people get stuck. They get stuck in okay, this has happened. So I tell people, when Chiari Malformation showed up at my door, I didn't run. I opened the door. And when she said, I'm Chiari, I said, nice to meet you, girl. I'm Saprina. Come on, let's go. Because guess what? She came to my house, but God calls the shots.
Oh.
You don't pay no bills here. Okay. She do not pay no, she don't run nothing here.
I know that's right. So listen, speaking of, this is a great point to bring up right here. Talk about how, because I do it, how you run ahead in life, like when you're at your best, how you can, I know we can do this. You go ahead. I put little things out there so that when I wake up that day and I am not this person,
right,
I have marked my favorite passages, or I have left myself a note to help the me that shows up when I am not the me of today. Okay. So like when you wake up and it's one of those days, vertigo, headaches, nausea, whatever the case may be, what is it that you go to? What place? How do you fulfill the 4 agreements and do your best? How are you able to work it through when everything inside is feeling like anything but that?
Well, you know what? I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to look anywhere because the Bible says to hide the word in your heart. So I don't have to look anywhere because it's already here. And, you know, one of my favorite scriptures is 2 Timothy 1:7. God didn't give me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of a sound mind. So on the days that I can run hard, I run hard. On the days that I can't, I don't. And I'm not sorry for it. I take the wins as they come. If I can only get up and wash my face and brush my teeth that day, that's a win because I did it by myself.
Yes.
So I don't have to look anywhere. I don't have to go anywhere. I just have to be available to what God has for me that day.
See, I'm just saying, listen, we got 6 minutes left, and I would be remiss in my obligation to do my best if I didn't request a little spoken word. And not to put you on the spot, but can you do it?
Always.
Will you do it?
Always.
I'm going over here.
Okay, so this is one of my absolute favorites. It wasn't, but it is now because so many people say how it touches them. And it's a poem called Black Girl Evolved. And it says, from the slave ship to any career you could think of, I have evolved. Since I arrived here, every problem you've had, I've solved. These thick thighs and wide hips are for a reason. It was for putting something more than good in your pots for seasoning, never wanting to be seen in the daylight, looking like an octopus, beating down my cabin door at night. Couldn't even tend to my own chilling and man. Had to breastfeed your babies and whatever else you had planned. Watching you sell off all of my friends and family members, you taught me more than I ever cared to remember. But thank you for teaching me time management skills. I learned that avoiding that wet picking cotton in your fields. Prepping your new gals for your annual show taught me business operations and how to be a CEO. All I needed was a small chance to see who I could be. It was a wrap when the Emancipation Proclamation was written in 1863. Having an opportunity to receive a formal education, it was my mind and womb that shaped this very nation. You see, your plan was to bring me here, and I never evolved. You should have checked my references first. I helped build them pyramids that's still standing in Egypt. I got that black girl magic. Baby, I love to problem solve. I'm a black girl, and I'll continue to evolve. I'm unboxable and refuse to lose.
Oh my goodness. Yay.
Thank you.
Dr. Saprina, I just am so, I knew it. I told y'all in the promo, didn't even know where it was going to go, but I knew it was going to go where it was supposed to, and it did. Listen, this is what happens through the promises. We don't have to worry. Let me tell you, we celebrate. This is TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, but there should be TGIM, TGIT, TGIW, TGIT to get to TGIF, TGIS, and TGIS. Thank God for every day, every moment. Let me tell you, you guys, people, we spend too much time trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B. Well, guess what? Point A is where you find yourself. And point B, everything beyond that moment. I'm so excited. Listen, if you, and I know you do, want to continue the conversation, get over, become friends if you aren't already with Dr. Saprina Allison. You can find her on WBOB, WBOB. Talk about that. What's going on that show?
Well, actually, I have a segment that runs Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, called The Spiritual Appetizer. A friend of mine asked me to record something. I had no idea what he was doing, but he had put together what I now know as a radio drop. I didn't know that I had a radio voice at all.
Girl.
I did not. I didn't know that I had a radio voice. So that's how that started. And it's just taken off ever since. My friend Stephanie Wall, Dr. Stephanie Wall, she has she has a coaching business, Speaker Stephanie, and she told me, you have to get out and speak. I wouldn't make an appointment with her for weeks. I was so upset with her. She didn't care. She was like, where are you? What are you doing? So my friends, my front row always come with an assignment to do. Get it together. So my cousin Nikki Sparrow, I laugh because her accent sometimes is so thick and it'll be country, and she'll say, now cousin, you know I love you. Get yourself together.
See, great way to end today. Those very words, get yourself together.
Get yourself together.
Listen, you all, the greatest thing about you is you.
Mm-hmm.
With all of the cracks, all of the blemishes. Again, I was trying to use a big word, Lord Jesus. I want to push it out one more time. God, source, light, whatever you ascribe to, never makes mistakes. They're merely keeping it interesting. Don't forget that. Listen, Dr. Saprina Allison, what a joy, what a blessing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for fulfilling the words to that child's song. This little light of mine, hide it under a bushel. No, I'm going to let it shine. I thank you. I am a better person because of you. And I am also a better person because of each of you. Now, listen, y'all, get out there this weekend and every day. Be the blessing you want to see in the world. Get out there, share your story, change your life. I will look forward to meeting you back here, 8 a.m. Monday morning, God willing, right out there on the front porch, as together we fulfill that promise of 2 or more right here on Bathrobe Moments. Be blessed.
Remember, run hard, dream big, and create a legacy, because when you get to heaven, God ain't going to ask you about nobody but you. So stop being nosy in other people's business and get some of your own, okay?
You hear that, Gladys Kravitz? Bye, everybody. I love you. Love yourself. Bye-bye. Thanks, Saprina.
You're welcome.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need a space.